Hey folks, I just wanted to give you a heads up before we start today's episode that what you're about to see is quite a bit different than what you've gotten used to in the last several seasons of Disney Coast to Coast. Now, as I mentioned in last week's episode, one of the great things about Season 5 that I'm excited about is bringing in different co-hosts each week from all over the country and even the world who are just as big a Disney fan as I am, and everybody giving their different points of view. Now, this is very exciting, but it also makes it really difficult to bring all of those co-hosts here to the Disney Coast to Coast set. So, the video version will be quite a bit different, even though the audio version of the show will stay pretty much the same. We are in an experimental stage when it comes to the video version of the show. What you're going to see today will probably change throughout the season as we figure out what makes the best version of this show. But don't worry, if you still want that video interaction with me every single day on Instagram, you can get it. That's right, over on Instagram Live with the username DizneyCTC, that's DizneyCTC, I play a game called the Daily Disney Decision where you can come and play along and vote and interact with me. So make sure you're following us there on Instagram. For now, on with the show.
Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli, and today I have a special co-host with me, Mr. Rick West, who is the creator of Theme Park Adventure, the creative director of Midsummer Scream, and a show writer for the themed entertainment industry. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Jeff.
Did I get all that right?
That was pretty darn good.
Okay, cool.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. This is the Season 5 premiere of Disney Coast to Coast.
And you had no one else you could get, so you had to scrape the bottom of the barrel right off the bat.
Some people didn't return calls. No, I'm so happy to have you here. If you don't know Rick's work, you should check out episode 226 of Disney Coast to Coast, where you were a guest on the show talking more about your career and such.
Okay, cool.
But
I'm sure it was riveting.
It was a great episode.
Okay.
It was wonderful.
If you say so, that's good.
If you're a little confused, if you're a return listener or viewer and you're confused as to what is Rick West doing here, there are some changes coming to the show in Season 5 of Disney Coast to Coast. I highly suggest you check out last week's mini episode that we had during our hiatus, which highlights a lot of those changes. But you are one of many, many different guest co-hosts that will be joining me in the seat throughout this season. So I'm excited to have you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And every one of them is going to have Speedos in the jacuzzi hot tub like we are, right?
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
And now today we're going to be talking about, even though this isn't opening this year, I feel like this is still such a major topic of discussion among Disney fans, and that is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which will be opening at the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World in 2019. So we're still a year away.
Yep.
But there's a lot of, beyond the excitement of it, there's a lot of concerns that come with Star Wars Galaxy Edge, especially for the Disneyland Resort.
Sure.
But before we even jump into that, I want to, I know how big a fan you are. I would like you to tell our listeners and viewers how big of a Star Wars fan you are.
Well, so I was born in 1970. So I by default, I'm a Star Wars kid.
Right.
Right. My grandfather took me opening day to see Star Wars in 77 when it came out. And, I can pretty much peg out everywhere I was on opening day for all the films. And I'm not like an uber fan, but it's part of my cultural DNA. I grew up with all the action figures and destroyed said action figures now. Did not Rat Pack one and not, like my friends all seem to, like, it's weird. It's like I had these figures. I destroyed all the figures. I played with them. They were toys,
you did
right?
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And all my friends are like, oh, well, I have one up in the attic that's never been opened. I'm like, what's wrong with you? First of all, what's wrong with your parents? They're like hoarders.
Well, I actually, I've thought of this a lot of times just because I would love to go back in time and have like my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures in mint condition. And I always thought if you had parents wealthy enough, what they really should do when you're young or you're in those like 8-year-old years and stuff, you get two. You get one to give the kid and then you just put one away and then like on the kid's 30th birthday, surprise them.
Yeah,
these are all of the original toys in mint condition.
And now you can sell them because you're a failure and you're still at home living with us with no cash.
That's right.
No, so that was it. I mean, I had some of the play toys. In fact, I was just having a conversation with our friend Sean and Carmel from Parks and Cons the other day. We did The Void at Disney.
Well,
so we did that. And we were just talking about like the toys that we had. And, I didn't have like this huge collection. But I was a Star Wars kid by default,
How was the Void thing? Because I have to do it still.
It's very interesting. If you're a fan of VR and you're just a fan of tech, and certainly if you're a fan of Star Wars, it's absolutely worth checking out. Yeah.
What if you're not a fan of VR? Because I'm not particularly a fan of VR, but I've heard this goes like beyond that.
Yeah. So what I have learned is that I don't do well with VR.
Okay, neither
which
do I.
Which is really weird, But I just realized that, like, in the past few months, I was doing PlayStation VR, and I got sick feeling, like really sick feeling.
Oh, okay.
And I thought it was.
I just get bored.
I was over with Gabe and Nikki from Theme Park Duo, and we were playing their PS4 and the VR thing, the Star Wars stuff. And I'm tooling around for like an hour and 10 minutes or whatever, blasting things out of the sky. And then I took it off, and I was like, I feel really sick. And Gabe's like, well, dude, they say you're supposed to do like 5 or 10 minutes at once. I'm like, are you trying to kill me? you let me play for an hour. He goes, but you were having so much fun. And I'm like, dude, now I'm ready to vomit.
Did you ever do the VR roller coaster at Six Flags? I forget what.
On the Revolution. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that at theme parks. I just don't think that VR is a great application for theme parks, just because it's an operational nightmare. It's a capacity nightmare.
Disney's doing it right as far as it being a separate ticketed thing outside of the park.
Sure, if it's a separate gated thing and the Void. And so the Void experience, it is VR. But it's a lot more. You move through a physical space as well, which is a really, if you've never done that before, it can be a freaky feeling. I mean, it's a total leap of faith. You're walking and, you can't see where you're going except virtually, right? So if the thing malfunctions and the door opens and you walk right into a wall, you're going to have a broken nose, but the door was open. But no, it was interesting. It did make me a little nauseated, though.
Okay.
I was nauseated for probably about an hour afterwards.
Okay, and it's about $30 for 30 minutes, is that correct?
The whole experience is about 30 minutes. I would say the actual VR part of it's probably about 15 or so, yeah.
Okay, so it's not cheap, but it's not absurd either.
No, I would say definitely do it. I don't know. I think it's too early to see what the repeatability is at $30, because that's certainly not an impulse buy.
Yeah.
And certainly when they... I think for now, they're going to have, right now it's Secrets of the Empire.
Next, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the VR experience.
You would be in heaven.
That would be, here's the thing, I wouldn't even think twice about that. I'd be like, $30, here you go, $50, here you go.
You would just walk up with a $100 bill and say, I'm just going to be busy for a while.
The reality is they'd be like, just come do it for free. Nobody else is coming.
Jeff would be like, I'm going to my second job. I'm working at the Void every night from 7 to close. But no, it was interesting. So absolutely check it out, whether you're here or in Florida. It's at Walt Disney World 2 at Disney Springs.
It's opened. Interesting, which segues into what we're talking about, is they should VR Galaxy's Edge, or what's it, Batu? Is that the name of the planet?
Maybe.
That would be interesting. Well, they announced that already.
Yeah.
Batu, is it?
You just ruined my trivia question.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
You'll think of another one.
Boy.
You didn't expect me to know that?
No.
That's okay.
Well, I figured it would be easy, but I didn't expect you to just spit it out. But I should have. We're talking about it.
Yeah, but that would be interesting if we could virtually experience that land before it actually opens.
So what's interesting is, and we can talk about this too, is the new Star Tours.
Yes, the end, yeah.
The final sequence, you are landing in Batu.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So
okay, I did.
The funny thing is, so before Last Jedi came out, we went into Last Jedi completely blind. We didn't watch trailers. We were spoiler free.
Yeah.
And so what we did go on Star Tours.
Okay.
And so, of course, you're on Crate at one point. And
did you not know that they had updated it?
We knew that they updated it.
So you were expecting spoilers.
We were expecting something, right? Okay. And that was interesting. I was like, oh my God, those are new AT-AT walkers and they're huge, whatever. So I did that. But then at the ending, you land on Batu. Now, that I didn't know. And I was like, what planet is this?
Yeah.
Because it was a locale that I was completely unfamiliar with. I didn't think, and I didn't know until afterwards that it was Batu. It looked like, for lack of a more sophisticated term, it kind of looks like a ghetto Naboo.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
Completely agree.
You're landing on.
Yeah,
it's the backside of Naboo, and so I was like, well, what's that? And then a friend of mine said, oh no, that's Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty darn smart.
Yeah, I think it's really, especially what C-3PO says. I forget the exact verbiage, but it's something like, it looks like there's more adventures to
that's
to go on,
really
or something
smart.
Like that. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little.
And then you're going to get out of that, and then have to walk across the park to Galaxy's Edge.
Well, that's you know what?
Consistency.
Let's talk about that. do you think Star Tours at Disneyland will close? Now, at Walt Disney World is a whole different story.
Right.
It's basically touching the land. They can make it work.
Yeah.
Do you think Star Tours will close at Disneyland once Galaxy's Edge opens?
No.
No,
I don't.
Oh, I really want it to.
It's my
and I love it.
No,
but...
it's my understanding, and it really is. It's I don't work for WDI, and it's all word on the street that Galaxy's Edge is really the reason that they set it in the Outer Rim is that it is going to have the characters from the new films and not really any of the Evergreen characters. So Evergreen stays in Tomorrowland.
So we're still going to have Jedi Training Academy.
Probably.
We're still going to have...
Probably.
Maybe Hyperspace Mountain?
As long as they can milk it, right? I mean, as long as they can make money doing that and bring people in, sure.
Well, the good thing about Star Tours for them right now is that it's really a commercial. I mean, every time there's a new movie, they put in new scenes
Which
from
is smart.
the film, and it works out for them
yeah.
in many ways, park attendance as well as hype for the movie.
Sure.
That's disappointing to hear, though. I love Star Tours.
Yeah.
I don't want Star Tours to go away, but man, it just makes no sense.
Early on, my guess was that they were going to just simply plunk Star Tours down in Galaxy's Edge.
You thought they'd move it over there?
Or a similar system, put it there, and that they would turn the Star Tours here into like the Iron Man
That's what I
experience.
expected.
I figured that really that's what would happen. And who knows? I mean, down the line, maybe something like that will happen.
I mean, I still want to load Star Tours in Tomorrowland and end up in Galaxy's Edge. That's the dream.
Right.
But that's not going to happen. But let's discuss for a while the reality of bringing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to Disneyland, and basically, is it the right fit?
That's the
big question.
That's just a $64,000 question, right? And I wrote about this on TPA last year.
When did you first hear about Galaxy's Edge?
Officially, unofficially.
Well, I was going to say, you probably heard about it early, right? Well, when you heard about it, did you know it was coming to Disneyland, or did you think it was just a Florida thing?
Knew it was coming to Disneyland.
Okay.
And, there is concern.
Yeah.
And so the deal is, and if anybody wants to read my non-rambling, non-stuttering, longhand to this, it's on
People listen
Theme
to
Park
podcasts
Adventure.
so they don't need to read. But themeparkadventure.com is the place to check that
just
out.
go to features and or do a search for Star Wars, and it'll come up on the site. So Galaxy's Edge is really big. It's 14 acres. That's about 2 acres bigger than Cars Land.
I was going to say, Cars Land's about 12.
Yeah,
And that's...
so this is sizable.
See,
It's
Cars
really
Land
big.
doesn't feel huge, but then you forget how actually huge the attraction is.
Sure.
Like, that's probably half of Cars Land,
yeah.
isn't it? Like,
Yeah, huge footprint for that. Yeah. So Disneyland has spent over 6 decades becoming this really well-cultured, cornucopia of experiences, right? Disneyland has never had one single land that's like dedicated to one IP,
Which seems to be the direction this industry is going in.
Well, Potter kind of led the way for that, and it's worked well, obviously, for Universal. Cars Land did very well, and continues to do very well for Disney at California Adventure. It's just kind of weird to me, I guess, for somebody that grew up with Disneyland and that worked at Disneyland to suddenly have this monstrous piece of real estate that's just going to be Star Wars. I mean, that's going to be it. And I think there is a chance of there being some unbalance. Like when Potter...
Unbalance in the Force.
Oh, God, that was just too easy.
It was.
So, I mean, when Potter opened in Florida, it was a madhouse. And undeniably, it will be a nightmare madhouse here when this thing opens. And you just, it'll be interesting to sit back and watch what it does to Disneyland's identity because, for all of us theme park geeks that go to these places and hang out with friends and all that, we never say, hey, we're going to go to Universal Studios. We say, hey, we're going to go to Potter. You want to meet us at Potter?
Yeah,
right?
It's true.
So you wonder suddenly how many, these next generations that will come up are going to say, hey, let's go hang out at Galaxy's Edge. Let's go hang out at Star Wars. Everybody's going to call it Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
Let's go hang out at Star Wars Land. And suddenly Disneyland, the name, is going to take this back burner.
Ugh.
Right? I mean, that's the way it's going to be.
That's something I'd never really thought about, and that's heartbreaking.
But it's
from the man who insists that people call it Walt Disney World. The thought of not calling Disneyland Disneyland.
All the APs are going to be, let's go hang out at Galaxy's Edge, or let's go hang out at Star Wars.
Oh, man. You just bummed me out.
But it's true, I think. So it's a whole real interesting mix of what's going to happen to Disneyland's identity.
Yeah.
Now, certainly, no one's going to forget they're at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But
unless the castle becomes like the Death Star or something.
Suddenly you have the entire park is going to want to be at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have all these attractions that suddenly, I guess, are not going to have like huge queues and all that because everybody's going to be waiting. They're going to be in queue to get in queue to go into Star Wars. Yeah. Right? So it's going to be very interesting to see what it does with the shift in guest flow, in ride popularity. Yeah, it's gonna be really strange.
Now, part of the culture of Disneyland in general is it's a locals park. I think the best description is it's a country club for Disney fans. Sure. And it's not uncommon for me to go and ride nothing. Like, it's a very common thing. So
we ride the big leather chairs at Carthay Circle. That's my favorite ride. It's the Manhattan attraction. There you go. The Manhattan Express.
So do you think that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to mean that Disneyland will no longer be a locals park?
No, I think it stays status quo because it is a locals park. Mm-hmm. They've got over 1 million APs.
But how's this going to affect the AP program?
God, I hope they don't add another tier. Right?
I don't know.
What are they going to?
Well,
scavenger level. I mean, what are they going to add? They've got like 5 tiers or whatever it is. They got too many.
I honestly think that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to. So right now, they split up, what was it, a year and a half ago? They split up that top level into 2 parts. And as of right now, the only real difference, other than I think they've added on Max Pass and stuff, but the only real difference is 2 weeks at Christmas.
The crazy 2 weeks at Christmas, yeah.
I will not be surprised if we see an entire summer blocked out for everybody except for that top tier. And that would be such a massive change. Because I have I guess the second level. I always had the first level until they split it, and then I was like, I'm not even in town for 2 weeks at Christmas. I'm not paying $200
We have Signature. We didn't buy the Signature Plus. No.
So I feel like the Signature people are kind of going to get screwed. I think Signature Plus price they're all going to go up in price,
they'll all
right?
Go up, yeah.
But you don't think it's going to dissuade locals?
No, I don't think so. And I think, we've already talked about our battle plan and the way that they've done things in the past. My guess is in the weeks leading up to the official opening, they're going to have annual pass holder parties where you can spend, $150 a pop or whatever to get into this thing. Yeah. That's the way we're going to do it.
Okay.
We'll do it that way. That way you get in, it's not gnarly crowded. You can actually see things and enjoy things.
You think it'll be before it officially opens?
Oh, yeah. I think so, yeah. And then we're just going to probably stay away for months and months and months. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so disconcerting as a Disneyland fan. Like, besides Galaxy's Edge, the park these days is insane.
Yeah.
There is no slow season. We're supposedly in the slow season right now.
It's too crowded.
Yet I keep getting tweets from Disneyland AP that, parking lots are full.
Yep.
Or Mickey and Friends is full. You got to go to Toy Story, which is never fun. We can't handle the crowds now. I can't even imagine that. That's
a concern. It's a legit concern.
And,
the park will be hitting capacity every day like at 11 a.m.
Yeah. Do you think it should have gone to DCA?
No. We can get into this because this I know is going to be one of your talking points, whether Anaheim was the right place for it at all.
Yeah.
Right? So we can just jump right into that, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
My gut feeling right when this, and I wrote about this too, was I would prefer not to have it here.
Which is so weird to say. I'm in the same boat as you.
I would prefer not to have it here, and if I could have my ultimate wish list, it would have been to have an entire park in Orlando and have it called, Disney's Worlds of Star Wars, and every land is a different planet.
Yeah.
Would have been, I think, and that would have been so awesome for Star Wars fans.
Well, the one thing you mentioned going to the different planets. The one thing I really love about Galaxy's Edge is that we can't have the insane Star Wars fandom saying no, this isn't accurate because I mean I guess they can with the Falcon, right? But the idea of making a new planet I think was the best
smart.
choice.
Sure. Yeah, it is smart.
But I would have been cool with the whole Star Wars theme park that was all unknown planets. I mean, after a while, they all start looking the same.
But how cool though to go to like Dagobah and have like a meet and greet with Yoda.
But that
would have been awesome.
But the amount of complaints there would be just about accuracy. Star Wars fans are
they can stay out.
They're crazier than
they
Disney
can
fans.
Stay out.
Are they crazier than Disney fans? Maybe.
I'm sure that there's a level of insanity.
Yeah. So
I think they all have their peaks, right?
So, but yes, no, I agree. I mean, not only would that be fantastic to have an entire theme park themed around Star Wars, but on top of that, it would be fantastic to have a fifth gate in Orlando, which is long overdue.
It would be amazing. It would have been like a $10-12 billion park.
Yeah.
Chump change for Disney, right?
Yeah. So you mentioned the special events, and you're right. They probably will do that.
That's our battle plan.
I would not be surprised if that is like you said 150. I wouldn't be surprised if that crosses the $200 mark.
If it crosses the $200 mark and you get like a really cool something, why not? Why not? To go anybody that's been to a private event at a Disney park, like for IAPA, there was a private event at Avatar. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I don't know, it was like $120 a person or whatever, but there was like nobody in the land.
Yeah. They have started overselling these things though. It depends on the one you go to. Yeah. I guess it depends on the popularity. I wish that they capped the tickets a little differently, but yeah, that's probably the way to go. But do you think there is any possibility of you go to the park for the day, you pay your entrance to get into Disneyland, and now you need to pay something extra to go to Galaxy's Edge?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think they'll do that?
No. It'll be all-inclusive, but the main all-inclusive ticket certainly is going to go up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, it's gonna get crazy at this point. Now, recently they announced a cancellation, I guess, of the East Gate project, which was supposed to help these crowds for Star Wars.
Well, parking, right? Parking and routing foot traffic.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, like parking is always full now. Just always. And they have come up with a solution. They are building more parking structures. My question is this, though. Like, we have been hitting capacity. Mm-hmm. How can we have more parking spots, but, it's not going to really raise the number of people allowed into the park? I mean, it will slightly. I guess their capacity will go up a bit with the new land.
I think that the capacity goes up, but I don't think it goes up so substantially that suddenly you need, 4 blocks of parking structures. I don't think that, Disneyland has a cap, and your full theoretical is going to be bigger because you have another land, and there's a mathematical calculation for how many square feet gets X amount of people. It's not going to be, thousands and thousands and thousands more people.
Well, it's over 800 more parking spots.
Sure, but that's spread through the whole park too. It's not just but that obviously they need more parking. Well, they're building another hotel, so they're going to have parking. Right?
That's the other thing.
So they are doing this stuff. But
can you imagine what the hotel prices, not just Disneyland, but can you imagine what the surrounding prices are going to be like that opening summer?
Everybody's going to get paid.
Oh my goodness!
Everybody's getting paid.
It's going to be insane.
$500 a night for the Candy Cane Inn.
Yeah. Now, so they did have to kind of scrap their plans a bit with the East Gate because the city of Anaheim said no. They hit
opposition with the merchants in the city,
And their solution was they're basically taking land that they already have next to a parking structure and building some more there.
Yeah.
So obviously that's been delayed a bit. Do you think that there's any chance that it has been officially announced that Disneyland's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will open before Florida's, but do you think that this parking structure could delay the opening?
No.
On schedule.
I think it's on schedule. I think it's probably 2 different groups that are responsible for this. And so 2 different budgets, 2 different timelines, 2 different project teams. And
they just hired the Universal team to put up a parking structure really quickly.
That's right. It'll go up in a weekend. Universal will get it done in a weekend.
Yeah.
That'll be beautiful. No, I don't know. I don't think that would affect anything on the Star Wars end of it.
Yeah. Now, do you think there's any chance that, there was a bit of a surprise when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened here in Hollywood. The crowds are not and were not what they expected. And it was shocking to a lot of people. Do you think there's any chance that that's going to happen with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
No.
You don't think people are going to be scared away?
No.
Okay.
No, Universal doesn't have the AP base that Disneyland has. Mm-hmm. I mean, the APs just alone. If you got over 1 million APs, if just a fraction of them show up at once, the park's full, right?
Yeah.
So
they should do a 24-hour day that first day.
Those are a mess, though.
They are a mess,
Those
but
are
at
just
least
a mess.
But at least that would, you know what? Actually, it wouldn't fix anything because it would be the same people staying. I was going to say at least it would get more people in and out, but it wouldn't really.
No,
would all hang out at the cantina.
Would just, no, I think that no, it's going to be packed. It's going to be a madhouse.
Now you mentioned that you wish it were only Florida.
Yeah, in my perfect world, I would say its own gate at Florida would have been like my favorite choice.
I mean, of Florida though, Disney's Hollywood Studios makes the most sense.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Do you think Florida should open first? Because do you think if Florida opened first, there's going to be the people who fly out here just because they're diehard Star Wars fans and they need to be there on the first day?
Yeah.
Do you think if it opened in Florida first, which frankly, in my opinion, can handle it much better than we're going to be able to, do you think that would maybe ease off the Disneyland crowd a little bit?
No.
You're like full blown. This is going to be a mess.
Because unlike Florida, which is very much tourist park, ours is all locals.
Yeah,
and there are a certain percentage of us, whether it's for work or play, that are pretty bi-coastal. We go a few times a year to Orlando or whatever. So in that regard, I don't care which opens first.
Yeah,
because we're going to see both, right? But no, because you don't have 1 million APs in Orlando that are just like there clogging the parks. I mean, you can just see the difference when you come to Disneyland and you can't even move during the week.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is everybody here?
Yeah.
It's because they all have $8 a month payments on their low-end passes. I mean, that's why. Yeah. And you just don't have that culture in Orlando.
Yeah, and they just recently kind of hit a bomb with cast member sign-ins are like really restricted.
Oh, yeah.
I heard they took away the most weekends.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess I was expecting that for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Anyway, I was like, there's no way they're going to allow that sort of thing. I don't even think they'll be able to sign themselves in for that first summer, really.
I don't think many cast members would want to go in.
Yeah,
they're going to do their 8 hours and get out.
Yeah. Do you think that we're going to have Wizarding World had the whole ticketed system where you had to... The timed entry?
Sure.
You think we're going to end up
sure.
with that?
Why? Disney does that for everything now, right?
Like what?
Like World of Color.
Oh, well, those are shows. Shows are a different thing.
But it's everything, right? So they of course, they're going to make use of their Max Pass, all that stuff now.
Yeah. Do you have a Max Pass?
I do. We paid what was it, like extra $60 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We did that and we added it to our signature.
Even though you spend most of your time at the Carthay.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
I wish it worked for the Carthay line.
Yeah, is that a long line a lot?
Oh, God. Yeah.
You go to the bar, though, right?
We go to the lounge.
Yeah. So what do you think are going to be the biggest logistical problems? I know that the land has 3 entrances, which is a little different, but at the same time, I was actually thinking about Cars Land has 3 entrances. Cars Land has 3 entrances.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and there's obviously one main entrance, which everybody's going to try to go to for opening of Star Wars. But I don't know. What do you think the biggest logistical problems will be?
I think just overcrowding.
Yeah,
just overcrowding. I mean, I don't see being able to walk into Galaxy's Edge for a long time without like being shoulder to shoulder with people.
Yeah,
and I think that we experienced that when we went this last year to. When we went in October to Orlando for the Halloween stuff, that's when we first saw Avatar.
Yeah. And
getting there when Animal Kingdom opened in the morning, it was just a sea of people. Even
once they officially opened? Because I had a different experience.
It was a sea of people. Well, our morning, the attractions were delayed. opening.
Because I rode them in a half hour.
But it was just like this wall of people.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God, this is exactly what Star Wars is going to be like when it opens.
I think Star Wars is going to be worse.
Oh yeah, it's going to be, I do. I think it's going to be nightmarish as far as traffic goes.
I didn't have a terrible time with Pandora just because, I waited for 45 minutes before the park even opened shoulder to shoulder. But then once they let us in, I went in and I never even got to see the floating animatronic because the line was short enough that like we completely avoided that room, which kind of angered me. I'm like, really? You're not going to even let us walk by this?
Right, sure.
Which was kind of
in
stupid.
the Banshee attraction? Is that what it is?
Yeah. But I guess we've been talking a lot of negative about Star Wars Land, or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But what are you most looking forward to with it? It's pretty exciting.
The cantina.
That's where you're going to be spending.
Ding, ding, ding. The cantina.
Really? Over the attractions?
No, I'm looking forward to, the escaping the First Order attraction.
Okay.
That I'm sure is, from everything that I understand about it, cutting edge and just ridiculous in scale and experience.
I'm kind of curious. I actually don't know the answer to this. How did you feel about? Did you think Pandora was cutting edge?
Pandora is interesting. I think that Pandora's strength is in the fine detail of the land.
Yeah.
Ironically, which is almost all completely lost after dark.
Yes. Oh, don't even get me with the After Dark. Now, when did you experience it? October? Oh, we experienced it right around the same time,
so
within weeks.
October, we saw it in the morning, but then for IAPA, we went back in November.
Yeah.
And I went to that private party, and the private party was at night. And it was really interesting because it was all these industry people seeing it for the first time, and everybody was walking around with their cell phones out with the flashlights on so they could see the details.
Yeah.
Because
it looks like a paintball course.
Well, there's no natural, there's no false lighting. And Joe Rody is a stickler about this. It's got to be natural lighting, and there's not going to be a lot of natural lighting on a planet.
Yeah,
So I thought it was really disappointing actually after dark.
Oh yeah,
because you can't see anything.
That was my first experience, was After Dark, and it was literally for 15 minutes. That was a crazy day for me, but I knew I only had a very short period to experience it at dark, and then I'd go back the next morning to experience the actual land.
But during the day, it's gorgeous.
Is it? I
thought so.
To me, I
was blown away by the really fine detail.
I use the word impressive. Yeah. I don't use the word gorgeous because it's really difficult to create nature and like make it any more beautiful than nature. Nature is gorgeous.
Sure.
A fake nature.
But I think they did a great job.
Of course they did. Except
blurring the line between what flowers are real and what aren't.
Even the ET flowers.
Well, sure. If something's like a 20-foot tall dandelion, that's not real,
even the giant stuff. I just mean like there's stuff that look like plastic. In my opinion, you don't think so? I thought that there were some plants that when you I felt like I was on the ET ride at Universal.
So Jeff hates Avatar.
No, I don't.
Here we go. Jeff hates landscaping.
You love to start hashtags.
Jeff.
No, I don't hate Avatar. I'm impressed by Avatar. I always say I would never make a specific trip for Pandora. I would never tell somebody, you gotta go to Walt Disney World to check out Pandora. I'd be more likely to say, you gotta go to Walt Disney World to check out Happily Ever After. Like, that's mind-blowing.
Okay. All right.
And to me, the whole Pandora, the top-notch thing there is that animatronic, the Na'vi shaman.
Okay.
Blows my mind.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
It was really well done. The ride's really short.
It's so funny because
really short.
Everybody says that, and because I had that in my mind, it didn't feel that short to me. Yeah. I'm sure if I wrote it again, like immediately after, I'd be like, but seeing it all for the first time and like having heard a billion times, it's so short. I didn't think it was that short. It felt fine to me. Would I have liked it to be longer? Yeah, but yeah. Overall, anyway, we're so off topic there, but so the First Order ride is what you're looking most forward to, and that's the one with the giant AT-ATs. And
that's where we saw the AT-ATs before it got sealed up. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. It's gonna be fun.
And what do you think? It's going to be May 2019, probably, even though it's never been officially announced. And what do you think the gap's going to be between here and Florida?
I don't know.
3 months?
I haven't even given it a thought because I know we're going to end up seeing both of them, so I haven't even really thought about it. Right?
Yeah, it's it's on schedule as far as I've heard now. Right? It's crazy. Every time you go to Disneyland, you just see more and more of this.
Sure, it's going up really fast now.
Do you think that at some point we're going to get like obstructed walls on the parking structures that we can't see into the land?
You'd think that would have already happened, though, right?
Well, right. There's no detail yet. It's just kind of.
Well, the rockwork's there now, so they're starting to bring rockwork in. Okay. So, I don't know.
I think they should. I kind of don't want to be able to see it from. I mean, I can always just not look. But.
Yeah, that's I think going to be interesting. Sure. I mean, at face value, you'd be like, well, why wouldn't they block it? Yeah. But that's got to come out of somebody's budget. That's got to, it's one of those things.
One other thing I just thought of, fireworks. How's this going to affect the fireworks?
From what I understand, the fireworks have already been shifted.
Okay, so this isn't going to be like a Fantasyland we got to shut down for an hour.
No, they've already been shifted, and from what I understand, and again, I could be wrong on this because I'm not on the team and I don't know this stuff, you won't be able to, I guess, see the fireworks from inside Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, because the walls will be too tall.
Yeah, something like that, or they're blocking the view somehow. Which would be good. I mean, I don't know. You can't like have an Ewok celebration every night.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but those are evergreen. But those are evergreen Star Wars characters. True. You can't have them in Galaxy.
What are you hoping for the opening of this? What kind of presentation do you really hope we see?
I would love to. I haven't even thought about this. I would love to have as many First Order stormtroopers as humanly possible come marching down Main Street all the way through the park. Yeah. And use their blasters, to open, the entrance.
That'd be
or whatever,
awesome.
Right?
Does George Lucas show up? Do you think George Lucas will be there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there for just about everything else. He was there for the opening of California Adventure. So he's definitely on their list. Yeah. And
I hope John Williams is there with the full orchestra. Although I don't know where they'd put them.
Don't know. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It's going to be exciting.
They could park the orchestra. They could just stop the train up there and have everybody sitting on the train facing out all the instruments.
It's going to be epic for sure. I don't know. I'm terrified and excited all at the same time. Yeah. I am in the same boat as you though, where I wish it were going to be Florida only. As much as I would hate that because it wouldn't be as, I would get there maybe once a year. It would, I don't know. I'm scared for Disneyland.
There's something about that makes it special though, right?
Absolutely.
Like when we go to Diagon Alley, it's great that Diagon's just there, right?
Well, I always, and ice cream butterbeer. Ooh, you got to go to the other coast.
And Tower of Terror.
Yeah, true.
Yes, right.
Tower of Terror. Mm-hmm. But no, I always say that about just locals here. I grew up in Massachusetts, and for me, it was every several years I'd go to Florida. So it was like a big, epic event every time I'd go. And I think about that with like friends here with kids who go to Disneyland, a couple times a month with their kids and stuff. And I'm like, that's awesome, and I can tell that they're loving it. But there's something that you're just not getting when you like hear from your parents, "Oh, we're going to Walt Disney World," and it's just that's something that those kids will never have. But I guess what they're getting in return is better.
Exactly.
I presume. But yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to add about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge before we wrap up here?
It's going to be, we haven't talked about, there's supposed to be like this next level of interactivity.
Yeah, which I keep hearing different things. I keep hearing like so much has been cut of that because of budget.
I have heard there have been a lot of budget cuts.
Which sure. I would. Do you know what they're going over budget on?
Probably everything. I mean, who knows? I mean, no, I don't know.
How much is each park getting? I forget.
A lot.
Like over $1 billion.
Couple dollars.
A couple dollars.
Dollars.
The merch is going to be super exciting.
More than $100 million, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be. How much was Pandora?
I don't know.
I forget. I know these numbers were announced.
A couple million.
I think more than that. But yeah, I'm hearing there's budget problems as well, and I hope that for me it's that interactivity, it's that live stuff that really makes the world come alive. Yeah. Well,
I had heard early on, depending on how you perform in the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, well, that's still going to happen, right?
That you could be at the bar at the cantina or something, and somebody will come in and say, "Oh, a rough day in the Falcon," type of thing.
Which means what? Are we going to start getting magic bands?
I don't know.
How are they going to control that? I would assume magic bands.
I hope, you know what, I do like the ease of having the magic bands. Yeah. I would love to be able to see, and the infrastructure's there now at Disneyland. I would love to see that come to Disneyland.
Because how else would they do it unless they're tagging your phones through the app or something?
I don't know.
That's really interesting. I'm actually really excited to see the lightsaber. I'm ready for a next generation theme park lightsaber. I hope that's super impressive. Yeah. I would assume meet and greet situations. It's not like they're going to be able to walk around the park doing whatever effect they're creating for that. But yeah, so It's going to be a little weird not having like Yoda and Darth Vader.
Sure, of course, right?
Stuff.
You go into Star Wars land, you expect to see Darth Vader tooling around.
I think it'll definitely be better than Mars. What was it? Mars 2120 or 20... Do you remember this restaurant in New York City?
No.
There's this I think it was not 2020. It couldn't have been that. It was Mars and then a year really far into the future. And to get to the restaurant, you actually literally had to load a spaceship that was just like Star Tours.
Okay.
And you land in Mars and you would eat in Mars and like they had characters walking around and stuff and they were super cheesy and it was meant for kids. But I'm hoping it's better than that.
Probably will be.
I think it will be.
I'm thinking it probably will be.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Well, I think that was a lot of talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I'm excited. That's what it comes down to. And I'm terrified. And I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, curious.
How scared do you think Disney is? Like, do you think they have a plan?
I think that they are hiring more people right now to count the money that's going to come pouring in.
That's all they care about?
Yeah, I think that they're hiring some more bean counters, and because it's going to be substantial for them, I'm sure.
I'm actually really excited to see the whole... the products that they sell, because I hear it's all going to be in like, appropriate packaging for the
I hope.
Stuff. That's what I keep hearing. Or is that an assumption I keep making? I don't know.
I mean, we bought a Banshee in Pandora and it comes in a pretty standard box.
Really? You bought one of those things?
Johanna insisted. It wasn't even a question. She says, we're getting a baby Banshee. Man. I was like, It was like the crossover. It was the Johanna mind trick.
Is she an Avatar fan?
No, she just likes the cute little Banshee.
See, I don't even think
she hates Avatar. The movie, she's not a fan at all.
Now, that is very interesting to me that she does not like the movie.
But she loved the Banshee attraction.
Okay.
And she liked the land. She loved the Banshee attraction. And because it's a baby and it's a little animal. Yeah, she wanted it.
And
so we have a Banshee.
Did she walk around with it on her shoulder?
No, we're gonna actually, a friend of ours is going out pretty soon, and we're gonna have him pick up we should have bought one of the perches that you can buy for them.
Do you have to buy that separately?
Yes. That's another $25.
Oh, no.
And so we're going to do that, and that's going to sit on top of our bar.
Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Anyway, guys, I think that wraps up our talk of Star Wars Galaxy Edge, so that means... It's trivia time! Okay, Rick, do you want me to start with a trivia question for you, or you want to ask me first?
I would love for you to start.
Okay, cool. Well, one thing I'm very excited about that's going to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is our old friend Rex from Star Tours. Our old pilot, Rex. He's going to have a different role, though. He's not going to be a pilot over in Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Do you know what his role will be and where he will be?
So I can guess maybe where he will be, but I saw there was merchandise.
Oh.
There are DJ Rex shirts.
Ah, there you go. Are they already selling those?
I think so. I saw something somewhere.
I've not seen that. Okay.
And is he DJing in the cantina?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's cool. I didn't even.
There's I don't know whether I saw it online or if I. God, now I don't know, or if I saw it in the park, but it was DJ Rex.
He saw it backstage somewhere and shouldn't have announced that.
It was in the Maple Building at Glendale.
Over in Glendale.
No, I just saw it. It was like DJ Rex stuff, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think they
might have been online.
I don't know if they announced it at the expo, but I remember seeing it in articles after the expo about. I think they did mention it in the room at the expo. Yeah, DJ Rex at the cantina. So that's pretty cool.
That is fun.
I hope they bring back Paul Rubens to do some.
But then the problem is going to be like, well, how come there's Rex in the Star Tours queue?
Well, there's more than one Rex, right?
I don't know. Is there? There's only one Rex. Like it's our Rex, though. But Rex was ours.
I guess there's a bunch of droids that look like R2-D2. Well, it would be interesting to see if they remove Rex from the queue.
So it's like a mall Santa. Although is what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, now you got me going. Continuity.
Now it's deep. Listen, now it gets really deep, right? Because Rex was our flight guy, right? Because he had his, do not remove tag still in.
Even if there were guys that looked like him, they would have different names.
See?
So that's true. That's a problem. But I mean, Star Tours in general is going to be a problem because the timeline's completely different.
Continuity is all screwed up.
It's a prequel, right?
The whole thing's screwed up.
Yeah.
The timeline, everything's screwed up.
They don't care about that stuff anymore. But I certainly do, and I'll complain about it every time.
DJ Rex.
I wonder what kind of music he'll play. But anyway, what's your trivia question for me?
All right, so this is a Star Tours question.
Okay.
Not really Galaxy's Edge, but hey, it does take place in a galaxy far, far away. Okay, so we know that in the States, in California and in Florida, Anthony Daniels is the voice of C-3PO in Star Tours. Star Tours is also at Disneyland Paris.
Okay.
Who does the voice of C-3PO for the Paris attraction?
Is it a name I would know? Or is it like some random voice artist?
No, probably.
And it's not Anthony Daniels. It is Anthony Daniels.
It is Anthony Daniels.
He does it.
It was a trick question.
Okay, cool.
He speaks fluent French, so they had him do it.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I thought you were just going to say it was the same dialogue.
No. So he recorded it in French.
No.
He speaks fluent French, so yes.
I need to go look that up on YouTube because I wonder what C-3PO sounds like with a French accent. That's really interesting.
Sounds like Anthony Daniels speaking French.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
great.
Interesting. Fun.
There you go. Fun, right?
You almost tricked me.
You
almost tricked me. Anyways, guys, I do want to give a quick shout out to Doll2, who left us a 5-star review on iTunes.
Nicely done.
Yeah, go to iTunes, leave us that 5-star review. It helps other fans of Disney find the show more easily. Also want to remind y'all, this season we got a Patreon page, and there's all sorts of bonuses. In fact, you can get yourself on an episode of Disney Coast to Coast.
Wow.
So go to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, check out the Patreon options there, and help support the show. This might be news if you didn't listen to last week's little mini-sode announcing the changes for Season 5, but this will not be the only episode this week. There's another episode coming of Disney Coast to Coast in just a few days. It's going to be the House of Mouse Headlines episode with all of the latest Disney news, so make sure you check that out. And also, I want you guys to start a conversation on YouTube in the comments section. So we've been talking all episode long about Star Wars Galaxy Edge and the problems we foresee. And I'm curious what all of you think. What is the best way to deal with the crowds that will be heading to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at the Disneyland Resort? Is it higher ticket prices? Is it all the different things we've talked about today? Let us know in the comments on YouTube what you think is the best choice, and maybe we'll chat about that on the next House of Mouse Headlines. Other than that, I think that's going to do it. Rick West, thank you so much for coming on the show. Let the folks know where they can find you.
Thank you, guys. We are at themeparkadventure.com. It's also at TPA Magazine on your social media platforms. And also midsummerscream.org.
Midsummerscream.org.
We're rolling. Midsummer 18. We're deep in planning already.
It's almost Halloween, folks.
It's crazy.
Yay.
It never ends.
Excellent. Have a magical week, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast.